Good morning, afternoon, and night, everyone around the world. Welcome to the Nico Morning Show, Season 9, Episode 3. Today, we are joined by VR and Nono and Anna. Sorry, guys, for the intro. I just got a bunch of notification. But good morning to you, Anna, and good morning to you, Nono. How you guys doing? How's your morning?
Yeah, good morning. Greetings from Lisbon.
Yeah, good
Good
morning.
morning,
Doing
Nono.
well. Excited to be over here. Excited to be talking. So yeah.
We always love to talk. But guys, if you don't know Anna and VR, I will give a little bit time for Anna to introduce herself as a founder of VR, and maybe you can give us a background about yourself, your project. How did you founded the company? Inspiration.
Oh, so many questions in one row. Might take a while for me to answer.
You
So,
feel free to take your time.
yeah, nice to meet everyone. I see a lot of people joining. So, I'm Ukrainian, coming from two most boring types of backgrounds, legal and economical. And for the last 7 years, I've been working with creatives, both single creators, artists, musician, theater, gaming, and also with middle and to huge companies who create, produce content, and of course want to see it out there in the world and for us to enjoy and so on. So I was covering basically all kinds of topics around licensing, monetization, legal, financial side of what to do as soon as you have your creation created. How can you monetize it? How can you protect it? And so on. The art was kind of a idea which we created together with my co-founder Olga Simpson, who is a doctor of law with over 25 years of both very academical and also very practical experience in the area. And we've been working together already at that moment for around 2 years and have realized that for a lot of creators, one of the biggest issue out there is, of course, not only how to get the first sale, how to create your art, but a next step here is, well, how to scale, how to make it seen, how to make it actually a stable stream of income. And working with big brands and even single artists, we've seen that one of the main issues here is actually laying not that much on the legal side, but because process of monetizing your content has legal, technical, financial, and sales component to it. So our initial idea was to create a platform which would simplify at least legal and technical steps of this process. And later on, a year ago, we have pivoted from B2C model and building a platform for digital artists, which was quite big. And we worked with a lot of museums and galleries doing virtual shows like Art Spaceship, Digital Art Studio, Digital Art Observatory, and got support basically from global community in art. We pivoted to B2B. So currently, our focus and our technology is helping still creators, but more on the established side in the art, fashion, luxury, music, and gaming to simplify their licensing and monetization. One of the newest use cases, which I'm super keen on and would like to talk about today too, is what's going to happen with AI and how can creators, brands, and anyone who creates content make sure that their content is well used ethically and they are still getting remunerated, and why we should not fear but should collaborate with AI companies, between creative sectors and AI companies. That's it in short. Technologically, we are on Near and currently also in the process of launching on Polygon. So if you have any specific technical questions or would like me to deep dive on that side, I'm more than happy. Yeah, that's it in short.
That's awesome. That's a lot. Seuss, what do you have for that?
I just want to start the easy questions and just an introduction for our viewers into small specific terms before we deep dive into the project and what you guys are building. But just for anyone here, maybe a little bit of explanation for the guys. What is an IP licensing solution and what does it do? It's just
Let's kind of take a step back and explain what is licensing is in general, as I do understand that we might have
okay.
people who would like to dive into that first. So whenever we create something, whether it's art, fashion, luxury, music, gaming, anything, any kind of content, the moment you create it, either as a single person or as a company, it's already your intellectual property. That's your copyright. So this is something which you can already monetize and have a full control of. So
Mhm.
you, as a creator or a brand, you are allowing people around to do or not to do something around what you have created. And while with physical assets, like for instance a bag or a book, something in the real world, where we can sell it once and kind of be done with that. With digital intellectual property, it's super nice when you can keep it and just license it. So
Mm.
giving temporary permissions for somebody to use your content, either creatively, commercially, non-commercially, and so on. And on the legal side, nothing has not that much has changed since 1976 and US Copyright Act, which basically means that whenever anyone around you wants to use your art, wants to use any kind of content you have created, they have to have a written permission from you. And the
Mm.
whole thing here is that it's not enough, like, just like if we would be sitting here and like, yeah, I'm giving you a license. That's not how it works. It has to be in writing and very detailed. So the whole premise of what we have built in BArt is that licensing is a very complicated process. Legal, technical, sales, financials, and in huge companies, we are accelerated by Meta and L'Oreal Group and collaborated with 78 brands at our research phase. It's even much worse than it is for single creators. Because if a single creator has to take care of everything themselves, maybe with a partner, in big brands and big corporations, it's hundreds of people sometimes who are involved in the process. You do the document, you do the payment, you check that the access is given, you check that everything is in order. So much of complications. So what we built is a technology which automates every single step of this process to the max. You upload your files into our system, which is, by the way, assigned to every partner of ours as a unique installation package, which you can then embed into your website and have full control of. So you do the installation, takes like 20 minutes to 1 hour, and you can start uploading your content or connecting your existing tokens if you are on near Ethereum, Polygon, or any other EVM compatible chain.
Mm.
And then it's getting registered on blockchain, assigned certification, all the rest. And then you can start creating licensing offers. So literally in under 1 minute, you can create licensing offer, selecting, let's say, 2 years, Germany, commercial use for gaming industry, this specific price. It works like a constructor. So you can get this licensing offers published privately, publicly, your website, and then for your partner, client, or anyone around, it would be literally 1 or 2 clicks, depending whether they want to pay in crypto or fiat, to agree with your terms, the offer you have published, and start using your IP.
Wow.
Very interesting.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's a lot of holes in
Um,
my understanding of licensing. Like there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. So that's cool.
To me, it's
Learned
just
a
a
lot.
pity
Yeah.
that this is kind of so like it's licensing is a $275 billion market. But who is usually benefiting from this market? Again, large companies who have it all set up. While single creators are, in a lot of cases, kind of, don't want to sound rude, but agreeing for less and selling their content or art just once instead of actually turning it into a kind of long time stream of passive income. Because whenever you created, let's say, your art, just think of it. You can license it for
Mm.
fashion industry. You can license it to be a cover of a book. You can license it to be, headlining an event. There is so much you can do with your art instead of just selling it once if you choose the licensing path. That to me, it's kind of a pity. It's not that much discussed in the Web3 space as well, whole monetization stream used by biggest companies out there.
Mm. Wow. Seuss.
yeah. So just to touch a little bit, and uh, let's talk about like content creators like us, for example, me and Nono. We are running this show, Nico Morning Show, and stuff like this. How do we benefit from licensing as a small content creators, for
Mhm.
example, in terms of our content? I mean. it is in YouTube. You get monetized in YouTube and stuff like this. But how do you guys translate that into another stream of revenue, for example, with license?
Yeah, I would say that streaming is not specifically like art, fashion, luxury, music, or gaming industry, as I was given examples of. And the thing here is that it's usually not a content, well, people pay for. So basically, whatever you record, every conversation, every video, audio, it's your own intellectual property. It's your product. It's something you have created. So if anyone wants to quote you, use maybe parts of content you have published, maybe do screens, maybe use the specific video you have recorded, they have to get a permission from you. Of course, there is a thing called like doctrine of fair use. That's when, for instance, people want to do a review on YouTube to the content you have created, non-commercial use for the purpose of doing a review, that's going to be fine. But whenever any content you created, can be used commercially, creatively, or in any way which is not falling into this like educational reviewing category of fair use, they have to have an agreement with you. So what I would suggest specifically for you guys is you have your logos, you have your content, you have a lot of components which can be monetized or used in collaboration and partnerships with a commercial effect more long term. What specifically we could have been doing in that case is that you can launch your own merch or make unpublished content or any specific parts of content you have wrote or created available for people to license directly from your website. So to pay you to use your content, to put it in simple words. And that's acceptable to any kind of creator. I would just say that it's a bit easier if it's art, fashion, luxury, music, gaming, or software, because there is a very specific one file which is being created. While with you guys as streamers, it's a lot of smaller components which you can bundle up and be licensing for people to use creatively, commercially, or non-commercially.
Gotcha. What would what shortcomings would trying to protect your IP with just like an NFT collection, minted on the blockchain? Like, how is that significantly different? Like, obviously we can't have it's different than having our logo and our stuff and like protecting us. But let's say me and Seuss are like small scale creators, and sure, we might mean something to Near, but at what point do we need to start thinking about protecting our stuff? Not just this streaming, but when we're doing short form content creation and people are trying to steal it or, screenshot it or zoom in and just not include our logo. At what point is that important? And if we use you guys, does that mean you'll go to bat for us when it comes to licensing and somebody's still trying to steal our stuff?
Yeah, so I would be kind of very, very direct about it. There are just two approaches to it. You are either being super, super conscious from the start, or you start worrying the moment you're actually getting monetized. So usually when you have to be thinking and concerned is when you do see that what you are creating is interesting for other people and they tend to use it maybe without quoting you, or that can be monetized. So on that side, I would say that NFT marketplaces initially were not created with licensing in mind. They were created specifically for artists to sell their art once. Of course, you may ask me, how about royalties? But the thing is that from the legal standpoint, the way royalties are set up on a lot of marketplaces has nothing to do with the legal definition of it. Because royalties cannot be set up to 80%. It's not only not a market practice, but for instance, in European Union, royalties have to be capped at 12.5%. So a lot of things we see on NFT marketplaces are created kind of very outside of the way, classic Web2 industry would do this. And that's not bad. That's actually showcasing that a lot of things are broken and exactly showing why it is so hard to bring, licensing as a whole process to the blockchain specifically. Again, we can cover a lot on the technical side, but it took us 1.5 years to build the product the way it is, including venture funding, 78 brands to collaborate, and so on. It's really tough, and it's not where the industry was born. So that's why if we look at old NFTs, let's take CryptoPunks, or a recent big deal around Moonbird's collection. So we do have a lot of rules which are set in stone, set in token, if it was created earlier. So like older standards, they don't have any information on that side. And a lot of them might not be having any royalties or commission set up, like no ways for creators to actually, get remunerated from their art getting popular and becoming bigger and bigger. So on the NFT side, I would say that whenever you create an NFT, any platform, you have to look whether you use marketplaces, maybe you are creating your own smart contract. You have to be thinking of basically two things the most: whether you are addressed as an author, creator, that everything is set up in that area, and secondly, how is it going to work long term? How are you going to monetize? Again, if you are into doing non-commercial, publicly spread art, totally fine. You can be not thinking about that, but in that case, set up it super, super clearly that like, yeah, anyone can use my art, anyone can collaborate on it, use on other projects. So sounds very, very simple, but it's actually so hard. But everything you are okay or not okay with to be done with your art, gaming, music, fashion, streaming content, whatever, has to be clearly set in writing. Because remember last time you bought, let's say, a video game. If you buy a disc for, like I have a PlayStation right here and a lot of discs to it. If you just turn your disc, you would see a lot of small text. And it's like, this content is owned and licensed by this and this company. You cannot use it commercially, and anytime you will try to copy and resell it, you are gonna be like having issues with the law.
Yeah.
Big companies are using it because they know that it has to be very written. In Web3, that is a bit of neglected, that everything has to be set up and written very clearly from the start. That's why we have these issues with collections, moving around, growing, and then people are like, yeah, but now I want to be remunerated more. The moment it's on blockchain, it's set in stone.
Yeah. Well, cool. Cool. That's a lot. Once again, me and Seuss are learning a lot about licensing. There's some holes in our understanding.
Yeah, people saying that Zeus have his game face on. I'm usually, chilling and making jokes and stuff like this. But it is very interesting topic, to be honest, and something new to us to understand about licensing. But in general, we are talking. You are now transitioning or adding a Polygon, right? And you have been near Polygon. I'm sure you guys have plans with other blockchain and maybe other partnership with Web3. And I see a lot of people asking, questions in the chat. One of them, Kate, was if you're interested in any upcoming partnership coming to your way in the Web3 space, other than the launching on Polygon.
Yeah, sure. There are actually a couple of amazing partnerships we are working with right now. One is with one of the biggest metaverses out there, and another one is with a company which created one of the biggest NFT collections. Again, it's not yet public, that's why I cannot give too much of specific details on that. I'm also very excited about keeping on and extending on our collaboration and extending to partnership with Filecoin, and of course, our ongoing collaboration and partnership with Near and Near Foundation. I think that we are already like a bit past the moment when it made sense for like startups, for creators, for anyone in the space to be only on one blockchain. I think we are a lot about like being multi-chain right now, and that's at least my prediction, personal prediction, where it's moving forward to. That we are going to be very, very multi-chain and trying to provide these collaborations as much as possible. Because again, as I have said, whenever it's already on blockchain, it's set in stone. So now we have to find the tips and tricks on how to make it cross-chain, how to make it interoperable, and so on.
Yeah.
What I'm also excited about personally is more on the AI side, as I have mentioned. On the Web3 space, I'm also looking forward to partnering with collections of Web2 brands, like the ones which are already there, but probably not getting enough coverage or looking to extend in the Web3 space more. And my personal one is I also like to work with collectives of digital artists. Like, for instance, we recently made a webinar with Janolo, which is around 400 different digital artists united in a collective. All of them are either digital artists or NFT artists. And yeah, I would say in specifically in Web3 space, that's what I'm the most excited about. But kind of on a bit of a side note, I'm Ukrainian, so it's kind of also my goal and what I'm burning for a lot to put Ukrainian cultural heritage on blockchain. This way, protecting it, making it available to public, and well, just in general, supporting my country in the toughest
Mhm.
time it can be there. So I'm excited about us partnering with a lot of local museums who have
Mhm.
never ever even used blockchain in any way. So to me, there are a lot of steps to be done on that side, especially due to technical complexities and quality of the content and scans of physical
Mhm.
art sometimes. But if I could choose one thing which is the closest to my heart, that would be probably that.
Well, I've got a question. What is your biggest value add to Near? Because like, is it having people use your services, or is it, hey, this is a wicked cool company, it's really cool, it does lot of really cool stuff, what's it built on? Oh, it's on Near. So do you draw more eyes to Near based off of the fact that you're just using it technologically, or do you actually work with anybody from the Near community in IP and licensing? Because I'm not aware of people that are near native that have massive like need for licensing stuff. I could be totally wrong. But just curious, do you feel like as a contributor to the near ecosystem, it's more of a, hey, see this, all this stuff is made possible by the amazing tech of near, or do you feel like it's more like helping specific people inside of near?
Mhm. So I would say I'm not coming from Web3 space like from the start, and I'm not a technical founder myself. We do have two more technical founders in the team. So
Yeah.
whenever we had the idea stage and we were like initially choosing a technology, are we gonna use, database approach? Are we gonna use blockchain? Again, was very clear that we are gonna go blockchain path because it helps to kind of merge together all of the steps and include both file, license, all of the information you need into one transaction. And then when we were choosing which blockchain would we start on, it was kind of a no-brainer for us to choose Near, as it was literally the fastest and the most kind of flexible technologically
Hmm.
uh, blockchain, at least at that moment. Again, if
Yeah.
anyone is here who has other opinion, let me know. But I do still believe so. It was for us easiest to build, very flexible. Again, was very easy to find Rust developers to get a lot of resources to that. We could play around also different smart contracts, doing English auctions, Dutch auctions included, all of the kinds of ways of how royalties can be
Yeah.
distributed. Why it was critical for us, because on the technical side, we do have the main NFT, so as to say, and we have a licensing token. So to
Mm.
build this interconnection, it's literally so much which needed to go into this that I think that
Mhm.
if we were starting out with a different blockchain, or maybe even just with Ethereum, it
Mhm.
would be taking us at least twice more time to do the
Yeah.
initial beta stage, pilot version, and wouldn't be so, and we would not have a lot of features which we are currently able to deliver.
Yeah. Wow. Um, what
Main
is the
add-on of value to Near ecosystem in general. I do agree with you that Near ecosystem in total is a lot about technical side and not that much about
the
content
creators?
creation,
Yeah.
especially if you compare to like some other chains. That is true. But at the same time, Near team is doing fantastic job, I think, with connecting more to Web2 brands, kind of
Mhm.
leveraging this incredible technical component, and in the future bringing more Web2 companies and their content too. I
Yeah.
would say that we are working right now uh, with 7 projects which are like permanently on Near, on
Okay. Cool.
integrating our technology to it. And
Mhm.
it's not only it's specifically on Near. We are the only one addressing the topic of IP licensing in
Yeah.
general. We do have Verican, who are like more targeting like ticketing solutions right now, so a bit of a different area.
Mhm.
Mm, yeah, I would say our main value add long term would be that we are capable of doing this bridge between Web2 companies, Web3 creators, and AI tools, while Web2 and AI are kind of audiences to be attracted to, and they do need a technical solution. So
Right.
yeah.
That's It's a great answer. How do you expect to multiply your clients' IP sales on a magnitude of like a 5x? Like what makes y'all's IP like ability to help with IP sales through the integration of AI? How is that so good that you can 5x their returns,
Mhm.
generally speaking?
To be super honest to you, if your sales now are zero, outcome is going to probably be very
Zero.
small or zero. The thing about licensing is that why would people want to buy a license from you? Why would people want to use your content? It has
Yeah.
to be good, popular, selling. It already there has to be something in it. That's why, for instance, majority of our clients are like Web2 companies, many, many years creating art, fashion, or games or music. So they do have like IP, which is sought after. That's why for them, the main gain is that they cut operational expenses and timing from this 6 to 8 months to even literally minutes. So we are helping to automate the process on every steps, but we are a technology.
Yeah.
So we cannot like go to the market and get you client, bring you to them and so on. So as of right now, we are doing everything we can on the technological, legal, financial side that
Mhm.
your existing client, your existing partners, or anyone who would come across you from your social media, website, and so on would be able to get to license, pay you, and get all of the rights in 2 clicks. That's kind of a premise we have here.
Yeah.
Long
Cool.
term, we do see we would be integrating a lot of like loyalty components and basically using this kind of cross-platform effect that, let's say you are coming to license some music and you can as well license some other content and so on.
Mhm.
So in 3 to 5 years there's going to be definitely a lot of support from our side on the selling point as well, but for now we've covered everything we could so that it would be
Yeah.
working
The tech
smoothly and
side. Yeah. Uh, that's a great. I mean, this Cade's question right there makes sense. Is that same? Yeah.
It's
I
a
need more coffee.
good question. Yeah.
Does Cade's question make sense?
Yeah. So, Kate is asking, are you guys trying to be a front-facing company with heavy focus on branding, or more bits working with companies? What is your long-term goal by doing marketing right now?
Mhm. So I would say our long-term goal is to be this bridge between brands, creators, and AI tools,
Mm.
leveraging blockchain to serve any need around IP, like storage, licensing, use cases, tracking, everything. So we would be the main technology in this area. There are currently around 70,000 companies who fall into our direct ACP. Creator economy is growing and growing, so it's going to be even more and more, and around 300,000 to 400,000 companies doing licensing globally in general, like at the level where it's already financially making sense. So our goal right now is to be like this semi-invisible partner. We are providing technology which you are integrating into your website, putting your logo, putting your colors, so making it as smooth and as easy, both for your team, because let's not forget, it's still people operating behind it who need to know what's going on and see it, as a part of their team as well. We are kind of not trying to build a centralized marketplace, biggest no go. We are providing our technology to companies to automate licensing, cut operational costs, and do more licensing easily in general. So I wouldn't say that we are that heavily relying on branding. We are still a startup, actually, like 2 months upon launch of subscription, so like of a full version of product to be specific. So now we are operating more on a direct sales, LinkedIn, email outreach, and of course conferences and professional kind of attribution in that case. But ideally, as you asked about our long-term marketing goal, is to be
Yeah.
this connecting technology. It's not to be a
Mm.
centralized tool in any way.
Cool. Um, I've got a sales pitch for you. Because you guys have a really cool tech, and it sounds like you'll really know what you're doing, and connecting those people sounds great. Um, y'all's company Twitter has been a little bit lackluster and hasn't posted since January. So
Yeah,
plug
that's true.
plug
That's
to
true.
all the talent that attends the show. There's a lot of really good socials people. So I feel like if you guys got a social media manager, or just cranked up whoever you're working with right now, like your tech being as good as it is, you can keep selling that software. I feel like more people just need to see your stuff, because I hadn't I hadn't previously heard of y'all. What y'all are doing sounds really cool. But yeah, I feel like y'all could 5x y'all's income, turn around, and sell it back out, if that makes sense. So,
No,
um,
that makes a perfect sense, and thank you for highlighting it. It's kind of
yeah,
my personal fault on it as well, specifically as a CEO, is that like we are just 10 people in our team, mostly on the
yeah,
technical side. So it's, to be honest, quite right now it's quite tough for us. So we are fundraising and closing our current round specifically to extend on the team and have it all, have
yes,
more of
ma'am.
a social team and sales team. While to be super direct,
Yeah,
up to brands and corporates are never ever going to come from X, from post, from a target ad, and so
yeah,
on. It's usually warm intros, direct connections,
yeah.
demos you are doing in closed, in more like of a closed surroundings. Like I'm recently coming from Japan, where I went to
Uh-huh.
meet with 17 biggest companies out there in the, music, gaming, technology, all of these areas.
Yeah,
None of them are even there, and not
yeah.
even like on X, and sometimes not even on LinkedIn. I
Okay.
know it sounds weird and kind of very
No, no, it
foreign
makes sense. Web
to
two makes sense.
Web3, but to me,
Yeah,
that's like I'm more a LinkedIn person. I'm sorry,
yeah,
don't cancel me on that here, but I will
yeah,
try to push it and even do a post today on X.
yeah. And
I
that's totally your, like, you make those decisions. I'm not going to try to tell you how to run, but that makes sense that that's where your market is. Absolutely. I totally give you that.
You poked exactly at the spot I know we are slacking at, so that was very on point of you.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of
no,
talent out
it's
there.
just sorry, no, no. It's just that for Web3, X is like the main platform for the guys. I mean, you are focusing on Web3, right, in general. So um, X is like the kind of way to go for us. Usually, unlike LinkedIn, for example, I do understand your point of view, but it's more into the Web2 side. Um, in near protocol, we try to build near the socials, and we try to do other things, but it's just if someone want to know about a project on Web3, it's always gonna be X. That's, I think, the point of view of no no in there. I do understand you guys have different approach, and you guys will run it in the way that you see it fit. It's
Mhm.
just for Web3 people like us, we spend most of our time on X, searching the projects and looking around, and it does, make a bit of sense for Web3 marketing to be the main platform, which is X. To
No,
maybe you guys
I
look into
totally
it.
agree with you. That's why I said that you poked exactly at the spot. For
Mhm.
us, like we are, and you would see it in a lot of companies, addressing like a more Web2 needs. That last year, like last 1.5 year to be specific, was quite tough because there was a lot of like fallback in the Web3. I think that like one of the biggest kind of disappointments I've seen was when Starbucks dropped their Web3 loyalty program.
With
And
Polygon, yeah. Mhm.
we've seen and
That was
heard
sad.
that also everywhere. So for a small team, it's quite it's honestly quite tough to try to balance it out and be like, we are talking about licensing and monetization of IP, and at the same time to be very like, very Web3 in the social media.
Yeah,
But that's, again, it's totally kind of a thing which we have to work and improve on. Anyone has any ideas, let me know.
yeah,
And I do hope that with the current market recovery, it's going to get back on track, that brands would like to hear more specifically about Web3 or about value of blockchain.
yeah,
But as of right now, everything, all of the science and everything I see and hear and get feedback on is that blockchain has to, technically be as invisible. And also, like, right before, guys, before we had this show, you asked me like not to use too much of like, legal slang. Why? The same happens to Web2 people not wanting to hear too much about
Degeneracy.
Web3,
Yeah.
NFT, or like any technical terms. I think
Yeah.
that when we started out, we had social media manager. We had everyone talking
Yeah.
and doing a heavy impact on Web3, and it flopped for us. It really didn't work. Since
Yeah.
if we are talking even about like digital art sphere, a lot of
Mhm.
people who are actually buying art for the value of art are also coming from Web2. So I would say we went through a lot of ups and downs in the positioning as well. And I personally had to take this tough decision to uh, not only pivot to B2B, which was made a lot of sense, but
Yeah.
also to kind of keep it a bit more aback in the Web3 positioning and Web3 approach, while I'm more than keen on pushing back on that and also doing more, getting more social and doing more, like community outreach in Web3 in the coming months as well.
Yeah. I have a question. With like y'all starting everything up in 2022 and the crap that happened with FTX and stuff, because y'all are a deal flow based company, did your deal flow decrease or did it not decrease? Because even though you're using Web3 technology, you're not really talking Web3 to clients. So they're still going to need licensing. And so, like when FTX collapsed and crypto in people's minds went here, did that affect y'all's inflow outflow of clients at all, or is it just like no, same old, same old?
To be very personal about it,
Yeah.
less than a month before the crash happened, we lost one of our co-founders. He was
Oh man.
killed. He was killed on the front line. So I do think that at that moment we were like more worried, and kind of it hit us much, much more.
Yeah.
But once the FTX collapsed, the same day we got two of investors. We had signed agreements. It was the extension of our pre-seed back then, jumping off.
Yeah.
So I would say we were like we were exactly like already reviewing whether we would do or not do a pivot to B2B. We were
Yeah.
like early steps discussions with Meta and L'Oreal before they picked us and won like hundreds and hundreds of companies. So I think that it was already like I was personally feeling that bad at that period that FTX was just like, a cherry on a cake of shit, kind of. So it didn't feel to me as a huge surprise or as a huge like what are we gonna do now, as maybe it would have been to founders in a bit of
Right.
another situation. We did
Yeah.
get a huge drop, and we did get a lot of also like classical Web2 companies saying like, not now, sorry, we are allocating. But what hit more, to be honest, was actually the AI coming. Because if you take any big brands, they have innovation teams and they have budgets allocated, well, to innovations. Then AI was a new kid on the block.
Yeah.
FTX
Y'all
crashed.
fit that.
So it's like, the king is dead, long live the queen. That's how it actually happened. And
Yeah.
I was hearing more about, yeah, like currently we are looking into AI. If you have something addressing this use case, let us know.
So
Or
y'all
like
could flip that
that was
around.
more on that.
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
Okay, I get a lot of people saying so being serious. No, I'm actually learning a lot, and I actually this is something new to me, and it's very actually interesting, But we only have like you know 10, 15 minutes stops left, but I want to just go back a little bit. And you know what? Let's not go back. Okay, I just want to talk about your funding because you guys, right? You've got some really good funding in there and some very strong and backers. And I believe I read in the article around 4 million was the raise funding, I guess. And looking at your website right now, to be honest, you have some strong fund partners in there like Near Protocol, Outlier Venture, and Meta is something very interesting I see in there as a Web2 company. Um,
Mm.
Talking based on you are very knowledgeable about this. I can tell, and very passionate about it. Maybe from the point of view of these big companies that are investing in the IP licensing, what do you think they see the benefits of your project in the near future? What can your project, bring benefits for these companies, Web3, Web2 in general, all of it. I know you touched a little bit about it, but from investment perspective, why do you think, or when you are pitching your ideas, how do you see this one is going to be revolutionizing in like 5 to 10 years from now?
Mhm. Since we are now in fundraising of our seed rounds, planning to like already about to close it early next month, I think that a main thing and main value for investors specifically is that everyone wants to catch this early signs of a future unicorn. Let's jump back like 10, 15 years ago when CRM systems were not there. What were people using? Like, if anyone here is like, a
A
bit more on the,
Rolodex.
yeah, Excel sheet. Yeah, Excel sheets, physical, like I remember when I was working, like my first job, I was literally handwriting clients and how much they paid before retyping it to Excel tables, watching all of these courses on how to make it. So let's think of the world where we don't have CRM systems. Are the sales automated? Are the sales efficient? Are the sales taking a lot of time? Exactly. So I would say that we are doing for licensing the same as CRM system made to like done to generic sales. The only thing about licensing is that it's not enough to just have a CRM for it. Again, legal, technical, sales, financial components, a lot of it together, which has to be taken care of usually by different people. So I would say long term, we are building to automate this area. And for us, just people around, it would mean that we would start getting movies we like, games we play, music we listen to much, much faster. What I would say specifically, I'm like targeting a lot when I'm talking to investors is the issue of AI, because AI tools need content, they need licenses. There are currently already 24 huge, huge lawsuits against companies like OpenAI, NVIDIA, Stability AI for like one of them is actually $1.8 trillion in value. That's directly from 12 million images being taken
Wow.
from a big portal without any permissions, any payments, and so on. So we are now living in the world where AI tools are kind of stuck in a corner. You can either get very creative and get like free content, royalty free, for instance, music and so on, and try building on that, or you would
Mm.
be chasing for months and months brands to give you permission to use their content. And now imagine if every AI would be waiting at least 6 to 8 months to get content only from one company. That's a reality we live in. So we are either going to have these lawsuits and more regulation coming and more AI companies just, having a lot of troubles building the
Yeah.
way they want to build, or we are going to have a world where AI is using only royalty-free content and then not having access to like
Selling.
90% of what we created as a humankind. I
Yeah.
don't want to live in the world of bad AI, and I also don't want to see AI tools creating the innovation which pushes so much forward and not having access to the best music, art,
Mm.
luxury, software, everything we have created.
Mm.
So that is specifically a vision I would say I'm kind of selling on the most now, is that
Absolutely.
automating IP licensing benefits us as a humankind in so much area of the progress. Because to me, it hit me very much when I heard from one of the biggest technical companies in Asia that they're currently using only 5% of IP ever created. So the things they show, the software, the hardware, all of it, it's just 5%.
Yeah.
5%. 95 is like stored somewhere, not used, not even seen to
Mm.
us. Isn't it kind of sad that that's the way we are evolving now, just due to the fact that people have to sign the papers, do the payment, get access to files and so on? To me, it just makes me mad, to be honest. So the
Yeah.
vision I'm selling is a world where have much more progress, we are, way more forward with what we are doing, and we are not going to have bad AI,
Yeah.
educated on free content.
That's a great take. I've got a question for you. What is one of your favorite pieces of Ukrainian culture that you have uploaded to the blockchain that you have put on somewhere safe um, in, I don't know, the last few years? What's one of your favorite pieces of that?
Hmm. I think it would be Katerina Bilocourt. we have done both a virtual exhibition, like digitalized all of the pieces and so on together with the National Museum of Decorative Art.
Hmm.
I also like a lot of like we've also done an amazing project with a museum in Lviv where we've been digitalizing like very old art of like 16th, 17th century. Well, not very old, but I mean relatively. And I cannot pick a specific artwork which I'm the most proud of. But
Yeah.
for instance, our team also digitalized Banksy's artworks. He went to do 7 artworks in Ukraine specifically, and a couple of them were already ruined, degraded and stuff. But we've done it together in the official partnership also with local authorities and ministries. So I think we are just really trying to be helpful if it's possible in that case, while of course unfortunately there is nothing which can be done to the artworks which have been and cultural heritage which have been already destroyed, and
Mm.
much was lost. But I do hope that if we can contribute even to like 0.1% of making Ukrainian culture more accessible, shining, and supporting as well, that would be already a very good achievement.
Yes, ma'am. Right back to not a hard question, but going from an easy question to a normal point again. While you're saying that, sorry, my mind was wandering, and I was listening. I was listening. If if I was running, if I was running VR socials, this is what I would have done. This is what I would have done. Ready? I would have talked about what you guys have done. I would have talked about your deal flow and like all those good things and what you guys are doing really good. And then as you guys are doing this raise, this next series of raises of seed raising, what I do is I'd use Jump DeFi or some other place where I could raise funds from the community. And then the people that even if they can't contribute this much, they can do a lot of people can do this much, right? And they can get involved in y'all's awesome company, and then it's like you're supported by the community. You know what I'm saying? So sorry for going back and forth with the different topics, but that's how I do that. And if I could consistently talk about like, hey, this is what we've done for Near. This is all this stuff. This is how like we're using the Near tech. This is a really cool thing. Then there's a whole group of potential investors, small scale, but a lot of them together can be a lot, and that's a cool way to get people involved. But yeah, I think thinking back to an earlier topic, I do think managing a level of professionalism like what you guys have with like massive dollar sign deal flow and appealing to multiple crowds and not scaring anybody off with like your language and your front facing language would be really hard to manage. But it's interesting.
Thank you so much for your take. I do appreciate it, as that's kind of an area where you are being professional. I would say what discouraged me a bit is that if you use a hashtag IP licensing or like licensing, it's kind of like, people are like, it doesn't sound exciting. Like, you guys are excited because we've talked about it for like over 40 minutes. Now you're like, aha, this is what it is about. But just imagine seeing one-liner, like, one-liner about like automate your IP licensing, unless you are not a professional specifically in this area or a person like biz dev, chief product, chief innovation in a probably Web2 or very well-backed and kind of forward Web3 company as well. You would be just like scrolling. So that's also what we've done. And all of the efforts we've initially taken were a bit not as exciting as they would be, for a lot of like NFT collections, so as to say, which, by the way, have zero rights. And the only thing which you can do with majority of NFTs is just post them. Try monetizing them. Try publishing them somewhere else. If it's a big, a valuable NFT, the guy's going to get back to you and say, what are you doing? That's exactly a thing about NFTs not having any rights attached to them. So that is a huge issue. So to me, it took me last 2 years to also learn how to take out a lot of like, because I'm coming from a fact that I was always an A student. And, like this kind of person, you would be like, oh, yeah, now she's going to start talking about that for the next 20 minutes. It's going to be like all boring and very legal and stuff. Because that's exactly how lawyers have been educated also to communicate to people. Check out on YouTube just put monetizing IP, licensing, any topic in that. Look at the creators who are there. A lot of them are like this kind of lawyers, like, because that's the way how the industry works.
Yeah.
That's what people are used to. So to me, it's also a lot of personal steps I was taking, am taking, and gonna take to make it
Yeah.
fun, accessible, and kind of calling in the hearts of people who are like not, as you have mentioned, like investors looking like VC
Yeah.
funds, 20 years on the market, looking at everything, but just to have this, yeah, just to understand why it is needed and how you can, as even a single creator, directly benefit from it. So a long way to go, a long way behind. And I'm genuinely excited about doing much more in the social sphere. I do
Yeah.
prefer not to hire people unless we have them, backed for a full assignment with proper taxes paid, a lot of things about that. So we do provide to everyone who we are working with, we do provide a lot of like additional package of benefits. That's basically the reason why we are not extending the team before
Yeah.
having the
Yeah.
fully closed, fully wired, fully settled, fully confirmed, and so on. But I
That's
totally agree that that's something we should be investing much more heavily.
yeah. That's cool that that's your mindset though, because so many like Web3 companies aren't very serious about paying employees. So the fact that you're like, let's do this, let's do it right, let's give additional like benefits, that's big. Like, even me like distributing rewards from people engaging on the show, I do it right before the next one. Some people, it really messes with people. They're like, I need my rewards now. And like, if I ever complain about like, not getting paid on time, I should be very good about distributing rewards immediately. But being Web 2-ish and paying your employees is a great idea. That's awesome. That's really good. That's what
Um,
To
employees
me
want to hear.
I
personally,
have
it's the
one.
main benefit of being an
Mhm.
entrepreneur is that I can keep my values. Because sometimes if you're
Mm,
working in the organization, you're kind of getting, a lot of culture which is there. But if to build like, did I make a lot of mistakes with like, with all of the processes, a ton
yeah,
of them. But the way I want, and I'm determined to move forward, is that we want to be very ethical,
yeah,
transparent, and supportive of people we are working with. So that's actually one of the reasons why we might be a bit more aback than we could have. But I cannot
sweet.
imagine hiring a person without offering like a full contract and yeah, like
That's
let's work
awesome.
with us for 2 weeks for free and then see how it goes. Never gonna happen again.
Wow, that is awesome. Let's go ahead, man.
Yeah, I have okay guys, we are like 8 minutes. To be honest, there is a lot of question we didn't ask you, and we usually finish our,
Let's do a
you
blitz.
know,
I'm gonna reply as quick as possible. Just ask me
yeah.
one by one.
So I just want to get one thing here. I'm looking at your website right now. I'm looking at the plans, and your subscription is kind of maybe a fair price to an enterprise. Okay, but Web3. Well, let's talk about Web3 and small content creator. Do you guys have any plan to launch a subscription for a small content creator to have some benefits as well? That doesn't have that large funding. Doesn't, have, for example, to do a subscription in your site.
We do. And by the way, our subscription prices are at least 5 to 6 times less that brand like any company is currently spending on the process of IP and a lot of other, tools around it and so on. So we were very, very carefully deciding on, how it should be. I totally agree that for a single creator, that is very expensive. That's 100%. That's where we started, and that's where we are also moving. What we are doing currently, when like we have a couple like kind of ongoing conversations with communities where, let's say, it's going to be 20 creators utilizing one subscription, because
Mm,
internally you can connect
Mm,
multiple people. A thing is that we have to give the installation package to a specific person or specific entity. We are a technology company, we are not a marketplace platform in this area. So if there is a collective of 10, 15, 20 artists, they can get one subscription, and then they're going to be paying like what, 50 euro, $50 maximum. Of course, also to smaller enterprises, if we do a demo and we see that they can benefit right now, we also have a discount system depending on where you are right now, in your journey as well. I would just honestly say that if you are a single creator who just sold a couple artworks, this will not make sense for you to automate licensing, because automation is about scaling. It's not about doing your first steps. So that's why specifically we are targeting more like, middle scale or design studios, gaming companies, music, collective, somebody who's more established and actually has enough content and enough capacity to license more and scale. But I do hope that within like a year, we would have also a version which would be available to every single creator. A thing for us is that we need to do integration somewhere. So you need to have a website page, like you need to have some market presence there to, again, boost it and license and make your content much more scalable and used in multiple other industries. So if you're asking about, if you're a collective interested, maybe you're like 5 people, 10 people, reach out to me. We can make it work and it would be very accessible to you. But you need to have like some, you have to be like connected, united, because otherwise it's not making that much sense for you either to spend your time to, invest into like uploading your IP, publishing license and offers, unless you have some scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like this idea. I understand licensing. I had some background on it watching Shark Tank and other stuff when they talk about licensing and stuff like this. But
It's not a
uh,
background.
I'm not kidding. But this is what I, yeah, this is what I learned
It's gonna be my
from.
personal quote of the day now. Thank you.
That was background licensing because I watched
But
Shark Tank.
what you call this, for a small content creator or single content creator, as you said, it gets pretty expensive for them. And I do hope, I think sharing subscription would be something good for them, to start on. And on that note, I want to ask you one more question actually, and I'm sure you got asked this a lot, okay? But talking with you now and your answers, your response, are very knowledgeable to be honest. And I just want to touch down on what was your struggle when you started uh, to bridge to Web3, or as a founder in Web3, as a woman, because in this space, the Web3 space, crypto space in general, it is a male dominant space, so you don't see much of female founders, female startup companies that runs by female. So you did pretty good job in there, very um, to be honest, professional and very nice website in there, great ideas in there. It's just what was the struggle in dealing with
Let
the
me
community, Web3
let me
community?
add
Go
on
ahead, no, no.
before you jump in, Anna. I was going to say all your websites, all your brand assets look beautiful. Whoever, I don't know if one of your team members did that, whoever you hired out to do that, did an amazing job. I would hire them for anything I did. Amazing. Well done. Everything's very, very great looking. You can go ahead now.
So I do see comments about making more friendly and accessible, and it's actually very directly connected to the struggles we had, because we started on a premise that artists should not pay for anything, that platform should be providing them with all of the resources. And where we got stuck is that, yeah, it's
How
not
do you make a business?
monetizable. So
Yeah.
the moment when you are like making everything very accessible, you can grow as an, again, non-commercial project, but not as a technological startup. To scale, to be able to build technology, especially as hard, expensive, and complicated as ours is, you do need to show financial outcomes.
Yeah.
So for that, you either need to, charge your users, you need to charge the buyers, you need to charge someone. I wish we would be living in the world where we would get, like free cash to build technologies and to utilize them, and it's going to be like that. But that's not the world we are in, and that's not the world of, again, I don't like to emphasize it too much, but that is true that funding is so much tougher to get for female founders. It's like it's heaven and earth in comparison, if you would just look at the numbers statistically. I'm not saying about like, I do know a lot of cool female founders, but not that much in Web3, to be honest. In Web3 as well, but just statistically, usually in a room of Web3 people, if it would be only founders, there would be like 70, 80 people and 2, 3, 4 women maximum. That's a maximum of representation I've seen. So what we needed to do initially is we needed to, charge someone. Everything was totally free for artists. So we were charging like galleries, museums, collections, like curators, somebody who was more established and a bit further on. And then I've seen that, yeah, that's how the company is gonna get bankrupt, and that's all. We would never build technology unless we are able to scale and monetize. So now look at it this way: the more we can scale, the more we can build, the more use cases we get going, the more funding we can get, the faster we can get back to our idea that creators can use our tool either super cheaply or totally for free. Because that's the premise on which we have created VR actually, is was to help single artists. That's just really the fact that if you want to build technology, well, you need to monetize and scale. Sorry, that's how the market works. I do hope that in the coming year, with the current dynamics, we would be able to launch a very accessible, simple version that every single artist can use, and we would be capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But right here and right now, the best option which I can say, reach out to me if you're a collective, or if you have like a specific super interesting use case. We are more than happy to see if you qualify for a discount, or if you want to do like a bulk so that a group of artists would be using our solution. But I'm not capable right now of giving away free access to technology, which
Don't
took
give
us
away your product. Don't give away your product. If it's good, don't give it away. I
Uh,
agree.
I know you want to show this one, no, but last question here, and I actually wanted to ask it before the last one, but kind of my too much knowledge information went to my head today. But speaking of your tool, it is you talked a lot about AI and how excited you are about AI, and based on what I read, that your tool is it an AI base or it use an AI to help it out?
Mhm.
uh, as after the subscription, right?
As of the current version, there is no AI in it, but we do have AI integrations in the roadmap, like very concrete ones, especially to help on the analytics side. So what right now the use case we have with AI tools, we actually just assembled a test group of 10 amazing AI tools from like all over the world to test specifically, how it's working on the more sophisticated cases when you need to get, for instance, a data set of 10,000 audios to build and so on. How it works now is that you can basically, well, fully automate how you license content to AI tools, so that AI tools can buy and access data which is owned by creators, brands, and is not publicly royalty, like just free in general. So this is some unique data they are not being capable of accessing right now on the legal, technical, and all of these areas. In the future, we would have integrations of analytics components, and also we plan to, with the current round, we do have the R&D focused specifically on also creators and brands being able to license to AI, and to kind of make it sound simple, very hard on the background, and I don't know how long it's gonna actually take us to make it work the way we envision. We want creators and brands to be able to know and see what's going on with their content after it's being kind of used by AI to make something else, so that creators and brands can actually get remunerated and can see and know what's going on with their content which they gave to AI. I think that would be a next step in general in our vision, and something we want to like invest on the technical side and development. But I don't think that another area where we thought about implementing AI is, of course, in recommending which license should you put. But I do think that there is not enough. So, like right now, there is just not enough market data to build a model based specifically on this data. So it would be like 1 to 1.5 year before we would be able to launch the beta stage of AI integrations, and maybe around 1.5 to 2 years, unless it's gonna work very well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna super quick. I popped this up earlier. Great points there. Well said. All that stuff. Let me see. Boss
Seeing all of the
Beauties.
comments, I do think that we should do a giveaway. That's actually a good idea. I think
Well,
that I would discuss it internally with our sales guy today. If we can launch something, I'm gonna let you know, guys.
yeah,
That'd be awesome.
we are doing a giveaway from our side for the viewers. A small giveaway. By the way, guys, and Anna, by the way, I forgot to mention this, but we have a crossword puzzle that you guys are gonna be able to participate in after the show, and that include answers and questions from today podcast. So if you focus on what was being said here, you will be able to play that game. It's a mini game created by Metal Pony. Thank you. And they will be able to find the words. It's gonna be found from the show here we talked about. For example, I will give you one of them. I guess IP licensing. For example, okay. So find the words. I will post it in the Discord chat after this one. I supposed to say that when before the episode started, but I got carried away. Yeah, and you guys can win maybe some crypto, um, and have fun as well. And we make sure that you actually learn something today. Okay, so if
Yeah,
you
you
if
better.
you, if you actually if you were not focusing, you have to go back and watch the entire thing, all right, and find the words from there, all right. But no, we have been live for an hour plus, and I know no want to have some maybe a final questions, and Anna, maybe we'll close it up with Anna, as an outro. But go ahead, Nona.
Yeah, super quick. I was gonna say, Anna, there's a cool project that came out in I guess it was technically late 2021, but it was really 2022 when they caught traction, and their whole thing. Oh, what in the world? Their whole thing was like educating people on the wage gap. Like, hey, this is hard to like raise funds for this. Hey, we're gonna partner with Serena Williams, like the American tennis player.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. Cool company, Boss Beauties, partnered with a lot of cool things. Wrote a book, sold it on Amazon about stuff like that, about being a lady in tech, being a lady in all these different things, and how like difficult that can be, and giving classes on Fridays on how to like raise better and all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Old news, but now that like their stuff is like kind of settled out, you should definitely DM them, DM Lisa Meyer, who's their founder, and just kind of just talk with them. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But I was gonna say thank you so much for being here. Thanks for letting two ignorant people talk to you. We know nothing about IP and licensing. It's been fun having you. This did not go like necessarily direction I thought I was going to go in a really good way. And we learned a ton. I didn't think that we weren't going to learn a ton, but I thought I was going to understand more. And you helped us understand more, but not on our own. So well done. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the Marketing DAO for giving us y'all on the founder support series to talk with. This has been fun. So
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. It's the last thing which I want to say before we wrap it up.
yeah,
Is that we actually every one of us is participating in licensing. Just think about whenever you scroll Instagram, whatever clothes you wear, whichever book you read, everything you use has a license. Somebody had to permit to print specifically this book with this text, to post a specific post with a specific visuals there, and so on.
Mm.
And the last point, which you should be careful, is whenever you are using any website, downloading any app, and so on, you are always agreeing with the license and terms you have. So especially if you are a creator, using marketplace, any platform to publish, post, or make your content available, spend 5 seconds, click on terms and conditions, see what they have in licensing area. Because a lot of NFT marketplaces as well have a lot of very shady terms in it, hidden somewhere. And you are basically allowing them to use your art for a lot of purposes. And some of them even have like a eternal kind of permission from you. So whenever
Wow.
you are posting or like making any of your creativity available digitally, just know that you are participating in licensing, whether you want or don't want it. So just be a bit more mindful and just look around and try to count for like at least 10 seconds how many licenses you can find around, even in your current space where you are sitting. I think you would be surprised.
Wow.
So if you guys have any other questions, you would get a lawyer is also a good idea, but I don't think that you need a lawyer if you're just, I don't know, using Google Meet to have a call, or you want to do
Lawyer
a
up.
post on X. Uh, if you have any additional questions, like about IP licensing, creations, monetization, maybe specifically or not specifically about VR, shoot me a DM. Might look like I'm dead on X. That's not true. I would see your DM if it's on X. If it's on LinkedIn, a chance that I would see it would be 5 times higher. But anyways, sorry, boring coming out of Web 2 to Web 3 type of person.
No, no worries at all. Actually, it was very interesting to be honest, as Nana said, and I did learn a lot, and I guess a lot of the people here learned a lot as well. But Anna, thank you so much again for being in the Nico Morning Show. We really appreciate it. And guys, you know what to do. By the way, if you guys are interested, if you are live now or after the live, you can check the VR website down here, read more about the project, about the founders. They have very big, serious, big companies backing them and investors. So it's very interesting for you maybe to look around and explore. And maybe in the future you will be able to refer them or even use it by yourself. But and again, thank you so much. We will be running the show for another 10 minutes for some giveaways for the people in the chat. We really appreciate you and thank you for the insights and advice as well you give us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Have
Anna.
a good rest of the day, guys. Bye.
Likewise.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit of double click there, but yeah, guys, interesting licensing. Cade license maybe Joy Edge merch or something. By the way, we
He's a
are
big
giving
popular
away
guy.
Joy Edge merch. Okay? We are giving this a sick merch. I mean, guys, come on. No, no, I have been wearing this shirt for. I keep every time I'm going somewhere, I'm wearing this merch.
It's true.
So thank you, Kate,
True.
actually, for the sick merch and for sending me also more merch. I really appreciate it. So I guess I will be wearing a white merch later on. But yeah, no, no, I know you hate the ending of this thing. But I will release you from your pain, and I will take care of the rest, man. So you can like
Okay.
go and take a rest and have some a good sleep in there while
Thank you.
me and
Thank
the
you,
boys
community. Me and
and
the
the
boys will
girls
take
figure it
care of
out.
it. We'll take it from here. Guys, I'm gonna go to
Uh,
sleep for an hour and then work up and work a 12-hour day. So thanks for being great community. Thanks for putting up with your absentee father leaving all the time. Thanks for Uncle Seuss for being cool. So
yeah,
uh,
no worries, man.
yeah,
I'll see you
much love.
around.
We'll see you.
All right, guys. So for people who hashtag, it's time. So it's always like a roller coaster, Keep spinning, spinning, spinning. Then you come back to Uncle Seuss. But that turns out so bad. Anyway, guys, Kingwin, please give me the name for the wheels, man. Go sleep, no, go sleep, no, indeed. Kate should send me. Kate should send some gym gear for Nono as well. I don't know, man. Kate merch. I think this merch need to be on sale on here. To be honest, I do think the quality of the shirts, guys, is it's pretty amazing. It's very comfortable, and it have some drawing at the back as well. Maybe I can't show it very well. I can't stand up because I'm already in a comfortable position, but I did try to run you a better camera than my laptop camera, but it was lagging a lot. So I'll figure it out by next time. Anyway, Kingwin, drum rolls, please give me the list, man, and let's run the giveaway for this one. And you see, his formers. Alright, we got the names around here. So I did ask you to hashtag few of them actually. So if anyone joining now, I'm sorry, you missed it. Alright, better luck next time. But we'll give away 10,000 Nico token for 5 winners down here. 50. We have quite few names today, to be honest. A lot of names. But yeah, let's go ahead. Kid, I forgot to ask you for for a hat and a glasses. But I don't think you should give your glasses away, by the way, kid. I don't think glasses need to be given away unless you are trying to work in some sort of culture here. But that's your thing, you know. But if you are trying to spread around some culture, then yeah. All right, guys. Five winners, 10,000 each, 50,000 in total. Fair enough. If you win, please take a screenshot and open a ticket in the Discord server. Miss Pinky, again, congratulations for winning. Um, we'll pick another name. Four more to go, I guess. Maxwell as well, congratulations. Take a screenshot, please, and open a ticket in Discord. Sus, do you know about Delta Trade? Oh yeah, I know about it. Uh, a guy named YouTube. Congratulations. Two more to go. I will explain Delta Trade in a bit. Stormzy, congratulations as well. And last winner will be last winner will be Kitistan. Congratulations as well for winning. We have YouTube winners as well. By the way, guys, if you go to our YouTube after the live, if you comment in there, you will be able to win in the next show. So we will put the names from the last YouTube people who participated. So all what you have to do to participate in this giveaway, the YouTube giveaway, is to go to our YouTube, comment and like our podcast. Comment what do you think of VR. Don't go and spam whatever you say. Need a meaningful comment or show us what interests you about the project. But I will pick two winners from YouTube. All right, and if you want to win in today episode, okay. Oga, congratulations, and we'll pick another winner. If you want to win for today episode in YouTube, after we are live, go there and you know do your thing in there, and then the next episode we will draw the winner. Metal Pony as well, congratulations. Now there is also the Twitter. All right, where you after the live, if you go like, retweet, and comment it, you will be able to enter another giveaway. We will draw the winner also live, but I will not do the Twitter picker today. Okay, on the live, I'll just do it after the live because I have to dip out. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate the support. I hope you guys are enjoying this technical season, which we call it the founder support from the MDAO, which was requested. But thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the support for everyone who was here and for everyone who's watching after the live. Have a great day and see you again on Thursday, 8 a.m. UTC as well. Goodbye, everyone.